At the beginning, our film today is to find a prisoner sitting in his cell. He eats normal and suddenly he gets a very bold idea. And when the guards first move his bed along and start, he digs in the precaution and enters the hole he made. In the ground, at the moment, this Mamour is still searching the cell. Who is next to him? And he notices that the man in it is sleeping on the bed, is not moving. Who did he sleep? Then he says that he will be in a big operation that will work behind prison. That's why the guards will not patrol for a month. Of course, this is very good news because the prisoner still hasn't dug in the tunnel. And after they walk, we discover that the man who was sleeping is this. It seems that his sleep is being lost, to let the guards talk in front of him with their comfort. After that, he kept digging. And since the prison is built on an island, their goal is to dig towards the sea, because when they escape, they avoid the guards and float along in the sea. Although the priest is a grocery store, 4 years of digging, he discovers that all of this was digging in the wrong direction, and let them change their direction and start from the beginning in the new. And so the two are digging half a meter every day, which means that they will take about 10 years. They talk about soil. The guard suddenly comes, so that the food can arrive, and the man is hiding quickly and go back to his cell. And there he sits thinking a little, and it delivers a very good idea. So he takes the plate and tells the guard that he accidentally broke it. Although this prison does not allow prisoners to go out, but they are allowed for other different needs. He wants the guard to bring him another dish. New along. In this way, they dig faster. Just in a day, the man is starting to dig an entrance. The tunnel suddenly collapses and the rocks fall on it, so the priest hears it. And I'm running to help him. But while he is digging, he breathes a large amount of dirt. He just presses himself and help the second man. And after they save the two, they hug each other. Because their groceries are years together, so much so that they are like father and son. We also know that the priest knows the man every day. A new need for the information he has, and he knows that his owner is the one who told him the charge and imprisoned him, and take his wife, and that's why the man wants revenge. On the day of the man, while he was sitting eating, he hears the voice of the priest Benedella, so he does not know how to breathe, because he's sorry, large strong amount of dirt. And it will be clear that he will not be able to live. He says it, trying to open a broken brick in the precaution, and the paper inside it appears. And he says that this is a treasure map and tells him that it was a long time, but I got problems and arrested him, so that they could take his treasure. But people don't know that it's hidden. Very good. And my time. He is asking his owner to go and take the treasure after it comes out. And the second day, the man hears the voice of two guards. And when he peeks out of the hole, he knows that the priest, okay, he died. Then the sheriff asks that they throw a body. The priest at sea. And after they walk, the man enters and discovers the priest's body and transports it to his cell. Benam is the priest's place, because the guards take him instead. After that, he cuts his hair and puts it on the head of the priest and cover it. And after he finishes, Benam is the priest's place. And the guards, Peugeot and Piccolo the body without searching it. Then they reach the surface and tie it with weights to prevent her from floating on the face, then throw the body into a sea above. And the man, after the water comes down, he takes the dagger he treats and cuts the bag, the fabric that is wrapped in it, and it looks up quickly. And the first thing he takes himself, he cuts the iron ball that is tied to his body and begins to float. At this time, the guard is going to arrive, eat for his cell. But he does not move, so he thinks he is sleeping, but he enters to swell on him. When I lift the cover, I find a body. A priest is calling out to the sheriff along. And when the maid arrives, he looks on the precaution and finds the corridor, the one between the two cells, and I wish you would not discover all of this. The man will be Salvation, arrived at the Shanty, and although he escaped from prison, he still remains. The hardest part is because he decided to take revenge and spins on the treasure, but the one needs to change the prison demolition, or if someone sees it, he will kill him. He enters a farm and steals clothes from it. And when he looks at himself in the mirror, he is shocked because his shape changed on the other. After 5 years, the semi-vagrants remained. And the second day, he will return to his father, but he finds out that he died a long time ago. He goes to the burials and knows from the priest. His father died of his anger at his son, and he finds a grave with his name on it, next to his father's grave, and he understands that people considered him dead 10 years before his father. And he understands that his enemy is the one who did this. Because of him, his father died. And when he goes to see his wife, he knows that she is not just married again, not that she was transferred to Paris. While he is walking, he finds walking guards with them imprisoned, so he comes out running before they stop him. And suddenly, the prisoner who is with them runs to the place where the man is hidden. And the guard runs after him, and he attacks the guard and helps. The prisoner is escaping. And the imprisoned person prefers to walk and see. To some extent they meet. Other guards are hiding and hating Arabic. And from his words with the prisoner, he knows he's a sailor who used to work in smuggling. That's why they arrested him and his ship left the port. And when the man hears, this is an idea. And we know here that he was working, a captain with a ship company and knows how to move. By ship, then the two go to the ship and the prisoner. He brings his nephew with him and they agree to go to Blame. Balago is in a storm. It is inside them and they must go to the Monte Cristo Palace, who is 10 kilos away. And after they arrive, we understand that the man came here to spin on the treasure and make himself. He only fishes in, the truth is, Beater on the treasure. And after it comes out, the map finds that no matter how much you walk, he does not feel that the place is right. At the time, the sailor would begrudge him and say it. They must complete their journey. Since the weather is adjusting, he will have to do this treasure issue. Just the first time I board the ship, I will find you over the mountain. Two large rocks working like the gate between the rocks. Keeps the place in secret. After a while, they arrive, eat, and rest. And at night, he thinks about the treasure, and he feels that for sure there is a need to hide under the 2 rocks. Dole, take a small boat and come back. And after he turns a little bit, I finally find a door. And after he moves the rock incense, he finds an opening in front of him. He enters its atmosphere and finds the treasure. And when he looks at boxes of gold and jewelry, he will be surprised, because this wealth is what will help him. He carries out his plan and takes revenge. After how many days will he turn to the Count and go to the church? The one confesses, then I sold a gift to the sailor and replaced him with 2 large ships and 3 apartments. He asks the man to meet him at the hotel. And after what, he works with him because he knows that it is difficult to take revenge alone. The first thing he sells is that he sells money to the owners of the farm and tell them that in exchange for the demolition of the one who took it again, he says, he will do dangerous things. Just in return, this is very good money. And to convince him to tell him everything that happened to him. And Arthur agrees that he really helps him. And then he goes to turn around and see Villefort, who imprisoned him years ago, and discovers that he remained successful in his life and stayed prosecutor of Paris. When he enters the room, records, and says he's coming to write an article about political prisoners and meet in the search for one named Edmond Dantes, who is imprisoned without trial. But the employee who is there refuses. He says it's very classified information. But the employee is the first time he hears the name. Vilvert Betotter apologizes to him and agrees to lead him to the file. And when Edmond opens, I will find the message that made him imprisoned unjustly. And I find it not finished, just written on it. And I don't understand why the owner of the bar worked with him like this. So he takes the message and puts Jarnan in the file instead. And when he comes out, he takes Arthur, and he goes along this bar to understand what happened. I just find that the man who slandered, he can't work there. He sold the bar 4 years ago and opened a hotel. They don't get news and go hotel along, and since Edmond has changed, the man does not know him at one. And after the man reads it, he is not surprised and knows that he is Edmond, the one who was supposed to have died years ago. He asks him to forgive him and tell him he had to do this, and he himself did not shark the message at all. And everything he did, it's arrived. The name is nothing more. And when Edmond asks him who is the reason, the man confesses to him that the one who wrote the letter is Danglars and Fernanda. Then he tried to stop them, but they threatened Wade Moon. When he hears this, he gets angry because their understanding is that I have been imprisoned for 5 years. He lived a very difficult life. Then the man says that after he disappeared, he was the one who took his mine from his father and Burrell. His need was at home then. Edmond is surprised and understands that Danglars worked with him like this to take his position, but I don't understand why Fernand worked like this. The man tells him that Fernand marrying Edmond's fiancée, and the 2 live together in Paris now. And Edmond, after he hears this, he gets angry more because he understands that his fiancée also betrayed him after they were Pomoto in each other. He knows from the man that she is the one who was prepared. His cemeteries and his father are more confused when he hears this because Dob went to prison. I don't understand why all of them deal on the basis that he died. And after what he guides, he returns to the bar and shows the man that he is doing something. He atoned for what he did, and it is that he joins him and he takes revenge. And the man agrees and tell him that Danglars is now an employee of the bank. Fernand worked in politics and take the title of Count. The year that passed, Edmond let him go to Paris and let him know information about them. They and Villefort. And the first one, he decides to take revenge on him. Danglars and Edmond meet him with his company, Conte Monte Cristo, and says that he has an investment project. 1,000 nail. But I am grateful, and in return he wants 5,000 cash. And Miss Danglars agrees along. And then Edmond goes to prepare part 2 of the plan. He goes to the telegraph tower and falls asleep. The worker enters the gym and begins his plan. I sold the wrong information. The content of the message was sold, and the station responds to him, so he wakes up, the worker who does not doubt anything and thinks he drank a lot, not more. When Danglars do it, information from his superiors finds out he's in trouble in Spain, and he needs to sell insurance quickly. Stock prices are collapsing, and because the issue is surprising, it has nothing to do with carries out the instructions along. And in this moment, Edmond appears and Danglars asks him if he has vitamins. And when he knows that he sold it, he smiles, because the first part of his plan was to evacuate. The Danglars are bankrupt. The next step was to destroy his reputation. Let the hotel owner know information from his wife about the grams she did. Then he hands the guide to the Jarnan, and the evidence keeps records, trading and replacements on the stock exchange in the 3 years that have passed, and they made a withdrawal, large amounts of his accounts. And his wife worked. Trading has also helped. And the reason why he left it, he does this because he has people in the government and what they are happy about preserving his wealth. After that, the police know the issue. Danglars are arrested and imprisoned. He is in prison. A letter from Edmond, and I find the letter he wrote himself. And they understand at the time that you are Montauk Rest. And Edmond remains. I will also find another message. Edmond Catabla while he gloated about it. After that, the role of Velvet comes. Wadman, he knows that he had an affair with Danglars' woman and left her too. And so that he does not expose the burial, this child is alive. Just times, the server saw this, and saved and raised the baby. And then this man and child. And the servant times they file a case against Velvet in court. Of course I heard him destroyed and he was imprisoned too. And my time is Peggy the role of Fernando. I feel that he hates it. More than the 2 who missed this. Because it's not just prison. He also stole his fiancée from him, and that's why he brings him a hellish plan. After how many days Mercedes Jala shaved a gift from someone who wants to meet her. And when you wear this throat, Fernand sees her while she says it. It's a gift from Kent, Monte Cristo. And Fernand, when he hears this, he asks her if she wants to remain a mistress. The Count says that she only wants to accompany him. He gets very intolerant and hits her. And the truth is they are not happy with each other, and she knows that they are betraying her, but it is complimentary because of her son. And then she goes to meet the Count, and Edmund is surprised when he meets her, trying to hide her bushes. But he notices the bruise on her while he is talking to her. She feels like she heard his voice before that. And then asks him if his age loved someone before that. And the truth is that she will know him from the first time I saw it, but you can't believe it. But his response to her confirms that the person in front of her name is addicted. Really, the man she loved so much for a long time. And then an hour came out of his pocket and she was wearing it. And when you see her, she is shocked because she was not imagined. He keeps her with him all these years. Then he will collect all the evidence. Graham Fernand. And he knows how many years ago he was a regular soldier. To rise. And the money that betrayed his country remains with him. He stood with the enemy, who promised with 2 boxes of gold just on the condition that he kills one named Basha. After that, the bar worker reports him, and Mercedes and her son are shocked. Because she was old, she couldn't imagine that her husband was a traitor. After that, the trial begins. In the first Fernand, Pinker every need, and he says that someone falsified all of this. At the time the girl of the hall will come, and she says that she remains a girl in Aisha. Evidence of treason, general, and accepting enemy bribes. And she also spent it. Of course, when he sees this, he understands that everything is over and he goes out quietly. After years of planning, Edmund can really take revenge as he wanted. And when he comes back church, and he looks at the grave of his father, he understands that his death was so tragic. Unfortunately, I did not enjoy money and this position in his youth. This is other than that he is old. His son was also not with him. And my time, Berta. After he avenged himself and his father, and when he goes to Crystal Resort, I will find a Mercedes there and see it. Who have them, the prison in which I am imprisoned for 5 years, and he also thinks of the priest who was treating him like his son. And when Mercedes asks him, he intends to do what now? Say it a sentence. The priest said it before that, which is that if he wants revenge, it is better to dig 2 graves, not 1 grave. And after he carried out his revenge, he says he intends to leave Paris. And the Mercedes watch is not answering it, but hold his hand until here events end. Our movie today. Wait for me to stay in videos. News summaries. Hello?